everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. I have a very, very special guest here for the show today. Can you go ahead and announce to the world who you are and where you're calling from?
Yes, hi. My name is Carolyn Sophia Skowron, and I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Um, and I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. And you can talk about whatever you want in your past leading up into your present, okay?
Okay, let's do it.
Whatever you want to talk about from childhood, teenagehood, or now in your past leading up into what you do in the present.
Yeah, so I started growing up. I was bullied at a really young age. I have the most loving, amazing. I should probably start with this. I have the most amazing family. My sister and I are best friends. Like, we all are super close. And growing up, I always had the support of my family. But every time I left for school, I always felt like I was different. And I always felt like I never fit in because I always felt like everyone had their groups and all of that stuff. And I felt like an outcast. And I got bullied so badly in third grade that they made a death threat. So I got a death threat in third grade. And it kind of is where my whole perception of myself and anxiety kind of started to get a little negative, because from then on, I kind of was always anxious and I didn't really know what anxiety was yet at this point, but that kind of happened. And then whenever I was like after like maybe seventh grade, that's when the bullying started again. And they called me Marvin the Martian because apparently I had frizzy hair, yellow teeth, and a giant nose. And that was also when I started to like really hate myself and hate my nose. And I would always be like to my parents, I want a nose job. I want a nose job. And they were like, obvious. I thank God they never let me. But I was always asking them. I was like, always like, I'm ugly. I don't look like I just was very hateful of myself. And this only continued into high school. High school was not a good time for me at all. And I started in a public high school, but my sophomore year of high school, I found out that I have a learning disability, which is called nonverbal. And if you don't know what that is, that's basically you're highly verbal, but you kind of struggle with like spatial awareness, which like my friends will say that explains my driving right there. And also just you kind of struggle sometimes with like social cues. I don't really struggle that much with that one, but I do struggle with the spatial one. But also in school, it makes life 10 times harder for you. So when I found out that, and I already was in such a deep depression, it kind of just transpired and I felt horrible. But then after I found that out, I wasn't doing well public school. So I had to go to boarding school, and nothing like Zoe 101, like at all. But it was, looking back, I do realize that like it has shaped me a lot into who I am and like the independent woman that I am today. But I will say it was really hard because I was away from my family and all that stuff. But like my mom, literally being like the angel that she is, would come up almost every single weekend. Like, and that was like 8 hours to Connecticut. Like she would do anything just to try to help me through it. But I was going through so much depression at this time and so much anxiety at this time that we really kind of everyone just kind of wanted to do what they could so that I could feel a little bit better.
Did you ever seek medication?
Yes. Medication. Well, that's kind of gone all over the place. I've tried many, many different medications, but I am finally on one that's good. Not afraid to say it. I'm still on meds. But I think that it's about finding the right one that works for you. But high school, that's kind of when it all kind of started to go downhill. But
Tell me about that. What else happened? You're beautiful, by the way. I'm not gay, but I don't even understand why you feel that way. Beautiful.
Thank you. That's very sweet. No, going into college, everyone said college is the best 4 years of your life. And I tried to be super excited for it. I tried to be like, let's do this. Like, I can make friends. There's like those summer group chats going on with the university the summer before. So you think you're going to be friends with them, and then you're not. And then you don't have anyone to sit with at the dining hall. So you literally just stay in your room and cry. And that kind of was when my depression got to the point where I started getting suicidal. And I did, in fact, almost take my life. But my best friend in the entire world, I'm a Christian, and I believe it was a God moment. But I basically, right when I was about to do it, my best friend in the entire world called me. And if it would have been anyone else, I wouldn't have answered. But I answered her because she was my best friend. And it's unbelievable to me looking back and being like how much of an impact she's had on my life. But that was like the big thing that happened in college for sure. And then my depression and anxiety just kept going. And I was miserable. So I ended up transferring back home, and I lived at home for a little while, and I went to classes and all that stuff. But I was still like very anxious, depressed, didn't feel good about myself. And it wasn't until my sophomore year of college when I went into intensive outpatient therapy.
Okay.
So that is, I feel like it's different everywhere. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
But my experience with it was kind of like, like how I see it now is kind of like you can only do that if you're really only willing to buy in. If you're not willing to buy in right now, it's not going to work. And I knew that because looking back, I'm like, I should have taken this more seriously. Like the mindfulness things, that wasn't stupid. I should have, not have just like rolled my eyes and been like, what, this is stupid. This isn't going to work.
Yeah. Okay. So can we break it down? Okay. So your high school and from third grade to high school to college, you had it rough, which caused anxiety. Did you ever feel like, you can mind read where you can predict where a person don't like you or something, whether a person don't like you?
That's funny you say that, because one of the main things I did as a child and as a teen was I internalized every situation. I internalized everything that happened. I'd have a conversation with someone would look at me weird, or like I would think someone was talking bad. Like I really internalized situations, and it really destroyed my mental health because I was always so concerned about what other people were saying about me.
Well said. I can give you a couple of suggestions because I'm gonna be honest, I'm just like you. I'm just like you. And when you stop caring, it still come a point where you care, but when you stop caring, that's when your frequency change. You're on a different frequency than everybody else.
Oh
You
yeah,
on a
definitely.
and you're on a good frequency. You just want to be loved. You just want to be liked, but you come across the people that don't see like you do. So
Mhm.
they judge you,
Yeah. Make you
and
feel bad, make you feel
yeah.
bad about yourself. And that's just kind of, I mean, there wasn't until this one moment where everything changed for me, because I was doing therapy and all that stuff. 2020 came, then March 15th, 2020 hits, and it's the day before COVID shuts everything down. I go to this party with my friend, and then she ends up leaving. So I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll stay with like the guy I liked or whatever. And so he was like, oh, do you guys like want to come back with us? I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. What's one small car ride? And we pulled out onto the main road, and we were driving, and our driver was sober. Let me put that. And we were driving, and this car was like flying through stop signs and stuff. And our driver definitely tried to like veer off. But basically, I looked up and I knew I thought that I was going to die. I grabbed my seatbelt and then like blacked out, and the car was totaled. So it's just like, that was a huge moment in my life where I realized that was my second chance at life. That was, because I truly did think I was going to go through that windshield. And to have the blessing of being able to have a second chance and use my voice, I knew that I was here for a reason. And again, it was a huge God moment for me where I realized I've almost faced death twice, once by choice and once just praying I would make it out of there alive. And, I knew all of this wasn't a coincidence, and it all kind of just started to stem into more and more like appreciation for life. Like, oh my gosh, I appreciate life so much now. I can't say I always have, and I think that that's a really big thing as well. But yeah, that's kind of where that starts.
So you're a Christian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Which
am.
means that you believe that if God wanted you dead, you would be dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He wants you here, and maybe you should start up something like a podcast or anything to get your
I
message.
started one.
You did? What happened?
I don't know. I kind of like fell off. I have one episode up. I should probably do more. People keep telling me I should do them longer. And I'm like, okay, if you want to hear me talk for like 5 hours, sure.
Do you know how to meet people during that course? Matchmaker FM.
Yeah. That's how I found you.
Oh, wow. Yay. Okay. So what else do you do to get your mind off of just therapy things?
Well, I didn't finish the story. Once I had a new appreciation for life and had this newfound appreciation, I started writing my thoughts, writing my feelings, just like I just kept writing stories and things that happened. And once I did realize that I've almost faced death, not once, but twice, it made me think that I needed to use my voice. It was my second chance at life, and I was not going to take it lightly. And that's how Unbreakable became to be.
You know, you have a gift.
Oh, thank you.
You know, everybody that has mental health issues has a gift. That's serious. You just got to find it. And obviously you're an author and you got many more gifts to give. You're only 22, right?
27.
27? You look like you're 20.
Sunscreen. I'm telling you, ladies, sunscreen every day. And I promise you, you will look like child's hair, like skin.
So where do you see yourself going in the future, Miss Sophia?
So I really think that I want to focus on public speaking. So another thing that I do is I am a public speaker. I actually just launched my website not too long ago. So if anyone needs to book me for anything, it's a whole big thing. It's carolynsophia.com. And I'm so excited about it because I did used to speak for an organization, but then I decided I wanted to make a bigger impact on my own. And so now I'm starting that and I'm really excited. So I'm putting like my heart and soul into that. But really, I just want to continue to, not even, I guess I would say educate, but it's also like, I just want to like be an advocate. So like people can know like, it's okay not to be okay, but like you are going to be able to get through it. And I think that's something a lot of people don't see at the time. And on top of that, adding bullying to it and social media, I mean, I just want to do it for these kids because I see this stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I would hate to have that in high school.
You know, they hide the statistics of being bullied in high schools and fights that goes on. Yes. When you get bullied, they kind of brush it underneath the rug. When you get into a fight, they kind of lower the statistics to make it seem there's not a lot of fighting at that school. Mm-hmm. What is your interpretation on that?
I always say, I want to be kind. I want to promote kindness, like, period. I think that bullying and anything about bullying is just, I'm very passionate about that as well. Since I was so badly bullied, it really affected me in my own life. And now if there's any way that I can help kids who are bullied, that would be amazing. I actually came across this one woman's page of her daughter who committed suicide because of bullying. And it kind of just made me think too, like, what is going on? I actually today had the idea of hashtag I vow to be kind. So I wanted everyone to comment that on my YouTube and my TikTok, because I was like, what if we could like start a petition, or like, what if we could do something so we could actually make the world better and have people just enjoy life?
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to say, how can the people find you?
Oh, yes. So carolynsophia.com is the website. And then my Instagram is just carolyn.skowron, I think. Carolyn.skowron. That's what I do. And then TikTok, it should be carolyn.skowron as well.
I have two last questions for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten with TEDx yet? It's free to submit an application.
I've submitted. I didn't hear back, but I'm still working on it. One day,
Also, have you ever tried to register to speak at schools, elementary schools, and middle schools, or high schools, or even colleges about bullying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to just like promote, also resilience and everything. So that's kind of part of my brand, is the resilience and the adversity. But I do tackle a little bit on the bullying conversation, but I think it's bigger than that. You know, it's also how these kids are getting through it, and what's the other side look like. If I'm in 6th grade and I'm going through it, what does it look like if I'm in 8th grade? Am I going to still be going through it? Well, if you have someone who's already been through it, who's showing you, I've been through it, you don't have to. It'll really help and make an impact.
You know, the one thing you said to me is about Nordstrom, because you shop at Nordstrom, right?
I love Nordstrom.
Okay, how about this? How about this? If you have the money, maybe you should make an app for bullies, the ones that get bullied, an app, you know, to help them cope in a group for them. Just something, you know.
Yeah, that's wow. I never could have thought. That's an amazing idea. Thank you.
I don't want no money from it. I'm just, yeah.
No, I know.
But do you have anything else to say for 1 minute?
I guess this is what I'll close with. I have been through a lot in my life. Sometimes people look at me and say, "You weren't the cool girl in high school." No, I was a loser. High school should not be your prime, number one. And two, you really just have to focus on being kind to everyone. You need to make sure that you're portraying kindness in the way that you speak to yourself, and especially yourself, but also the way you speak to others, because, you know, people think it sounds dumb, but it's like, be kind to everyone. It's not that hard. You know, it costs $0 to be a nice person. Like, I even did a giveaway on TikTok. Well, actually, a giveaway is still going on for like this sweatshirt that says it costs $0 to be a nice person. And how I'm doing that is I'm having people comment on it as well. So,
okay, Miss Sophia. Everybody give Miss Sophia a round of applause. She hit some key points, man. Close your eyes for a second and think. This could be your child. This could be your child at home right now being bullied and covering it up. So we need to do something about it. So thank you, Miss Sophia. Stay on the line. Thank you, everybody, for joining my show for number 1. Y'all take care, be safe, and I'll see y'all next time.